The Washington governor saying blustery winds could tip the situation there into crisis mode as those fires continue to rage out west. Last night at a news conference, Washington National Guard Major General Gent Walsh called this the worst fire conditions he's seen in 38 years, saying, quote, "When the sun sets and the sun rises, we're going to be in shock." And with a PDS fire weather warning that was issued for yesterday and through the weekend, not necessarily a surprise that we're seeing something like this, although it doesn't make the situation any less dire. Washington and Oregon, two states that truly have caught fire over the last couple of days, but Washington's where the focus is at right now with Spokane, with more than 4,000 structures being threatened. Some of the video coming out of Spokane, Washington, really gut-wrenching to see homes and their roofs on fire. And many of these fires you see here, whether it's the Kaiser Canyon fire, the Maudrite fire, overall containment still less than 50%. Now keep in mind, containment means what percentage of the boundary of that fire is contained. The fire can no longer spread beyond those boundaries. And with still erratic wind conditions, we could see this fire continue to spread rapidly. The Old Trails fire, that's the one that we're really focusing on when it comes to the area of Spokane. It's just to the west of Spokane. The wind direction, though, carrying all of that smoke. At one point was able to jump over the 7 Mile River. And so the fact that a fire can jump over a river also speaks to the erratic nature of this. We had a mid-level or mid to upper level low that swung through, and that really helped to create a strong push of winds, where yesterday wind gusts were expected to be anywhere between 30 to 40, 45 miles per hour. Especially on some of the higher elevations, the wind gusts were able to get stronger than that. At Spokane International, the wind has calmed down a little bit. We're looking at about 16-mile-per-hour winds right now. Phelps Field, 5 miles per hour. But given where the fire is at, near Lyons, Michael, and then you can see where the winds are blowing, spots that really need to be, I would say, on guard, maybe over into Trentwood and even areas a little bit further north of Town and Country, Washington. The good news is hopefully that the wind is spreading this more so to the north and west of I-90 at this point. But still, I mean, there's been reports of gridlock in Spokane as well. And my family had to evacuate when I was, I believe, maybe 12 or 13 years old. And I know the fear of not being able to get out of your neighborhood and seeing the fires burning, and you don't know if that home is yours or a neighbor.
That's exactly it. And then keep in mind, too, that when it's in such a populated and dense area like this, it's not just wood that's on fire, right? You start to introduce things like plastics that are on fire as well. And so that adds a lot of toxin to the air. So it's going to be really important that, although it's a wildfire and a lot of folks might think, oh, it's just some wood, it's just like a, some, like a campfire. It's actually a whole lot more than that. There's a lot of particulate matter in the air. So those masks are going to be really important. And again, something that you don't see every day is a PDS fire weather warning, and that's exactly what we have.
That's what we had yesterday, yeah. Right now we're watching as those fire weather warnings and alerts are issued further off towards the east. So Montana, parts of Wyoming, these are now some locations where you have a lot of campsites. People are probably wanting to go and enjoy the great outdoors. You really want to avoid any kind of burning just in general. And also, too, even if you have improper car maintenance, sometimes it's a car spark that can happen and trigger a widespread fire. Briefly highlighting Oregon and some of its areas invoked its Emergency Conflagration Act, which is essentially just saying that you can use certain practices of new laws to enforce what is going on. So let's say you can mobilize more firefighters and engines, helicopters. But at this point, you can actually see on the real color satellite where that smoke is at from the fires as it blazes on, and then all of it being brought further out towards the north and into the northeast. So if you are in the northern plains, be prepared, because we could be dealing with some air quality concerns. But we do have another area of high pressure that's swinging in, and so a lot of times that can even sometimes usher in some drier weather as well. But for now, it's the weekend. We'll see improving fire weather conditions by early next week.
Yeah, we will continue to monitor that very closely.